You might think that this video is clickbait. It is not, I assure you. Let me tell you why I made this video and I did the title that you saw there. It's very, very important to your ability to actually accomplish what you want in life. The problem is that so many of you guys are watching the news and it is destructive to you because it's distracting you from getting done what you want to get done, whether you think so or not. Now, I have some stats. I can tell you that I know this for a fact because I was going through and I was using this YouTube analysis tool that I use for my channel called vidIQ. And I went on there and I said, what videos are my subscribers watching? And you know what almost all of those videos were? They're about the war in Ukraine and they were about global news. Now, the problem with that, and a lot of people think you need to be educated on what's going on. No, you don't. Unless you live in Ukraine or Russia, which some of you guys do, that's fine. Understanding what's going on there to a degree is important. It's not even as important as you would think. But the thing is that so many of you guys, you're wasting your time and your emotional energy. See, one of the things that I've been really studying and focusing on lately is this idea of energy management. It is so critical that you understand how to manage your energy. I had gone through plenty of periods of time where I was not really doing energy management. I was doing a lot of time management. And just recently, actually, I started running again and I started seeing that running as a renewal activity, which has completely changed my perspective on everything and has made me have a lot more motivation, a lot more energy, a lot more focus and drive like I never had before. And what I started to realize also is that all the things that drain our energy. And see, the thing about the news is not just the time that you spend reading the news, it's the emotional involvement that you cannot help but have. Now, the thing is, like, you watch this stuff and sure, there's tragedy happening in the world. There's tragedy happening everywhere. It is always going to be the case. But what happens is that it creates some kind of an emotional reaction in you. It can't help but do that. And then what also happens is that not only do you have some kind of an emotional reaction, you have some kind of political reaction, of course, that causes that emotional reaction. But what also happens is that it's the energy that you're putting into learning about all this stuff. And you might say, oh, well, I'm concerned about things like World War III. Good. You should be concerned about it, but there's nothing you can do about it. So don't waste your time worrying about it. So what I mean by that is there's a lot of bad things that could happen. In fact, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but guess what? There is one event that's going to happen in your life that is guaranteed and it is tragic and you're going to die. It's going to happen. We don't know when, but it will happen. So my whole point in that is don't worry about the stuff that you can't control or change. You're not going to control or change world politics. Now, is there an argument that you could make to say that, well, understanding what's happening locally or in the world can help me to make decisions that I need to about how to live my life and where I should invest things and whatnot? You could make that argument, but here's what I would challenge you, because people make this argument to me all the time. Write down a list. I want you to actually come up with the real decisions that you're making based on the news. Just let me know what they are. Now, when we had the whole thing going on with the pandemic and everything, it was different. Then in that case, yeah, there were some decisions and stuff, but still people obsessed about it and learned way more than they needed to learn rather than focusing on their own goals. So what you guys really need to focus on, and the reason why I'm so against the news is because are you becoming financially free? I know a lot of you guys want to become financially free. Is that happening now? Probably not. Are you on the path to doing that? Do you feel confident and secure that's going to happen? I can tell you, as long as you're wasting your time and as long as you're wasting your emotional energy, you're going to make it less and less likely to occur. And most people will never reach this. Now, if you want some help doing this, especially if you're struggling with what I'm telling you here with a lack of motivation and you are draining your emotional energy, I put a link down below to book a call with a Bulldog Mindset team member that will give you a free call on how to map out your financial future. So go check that out if you haven't done that already, because it's going to be really, really beneficial to you to know what the plan is. And hopefully once you have a plan in place, it'll convince you to stop watching the news and stop listening to the stuff. Now, that's why I want to make sure that you do that. So go click that link and go check that out. Now, the last thing I want to say about watching the news and wasting your time like this is that when you think that this is beneficial to you. You need to really be careful where you spend your time, and you need to decide what are the benefits of the time that you spend. And again, this applies to more than just the news, guys. It applies to watching sports. I know that some of you guys enjoy watching sports, and it could apply to video games in many cases. It can apply to a lot of different things where you're spending your time. You have to ask yourself, what is the benefit I'm getting out of it? Now, I'm not saying that you can't get a benefit out of even watching some sports or playing some video games. Heck, I enjoy playing video games from time to time. I'm playing Fortnite with my girlfriend. It's kind of fun, every once in a while. But the point is that when I look at that list and I say, what am I getting out of this? It is some enjoyment that I'm getting out of it. And you could say that with professional sports if you're watching that, or even some television programs. But you really have to weigh it against what else you could be doing with your time. And then the final thing is this. I want you to make that list for the news. What is the actual benefit you're getting out of the news? You're watching these YouTube videos. I know that you are. Why? What is it actually benefiting you? Is it benefiting you at all in your life, or is it harming you? That's the next thing to think about, is, are these things actually harming me? Look, I don't want you to have to suffer and to not reach your goals in life. It is horrible to waste your years and to think that you could be where you want to be, except that you didn't get there because of something silly. And it adds up over time. All of this time wasted watching the news, believe me, it is going to add up, and it's time that you can't get back. So if you haven't already, like I said, go check out the link. I'd love to help you to figure this out. But even if you don't book a call or do anything besides, the one thing I'm telling you is just stop it. Stop watching news. It does not benefit you at all.